The third Saturday in the wrong sport. It's Tennessee, Alabama, round 2 basketball time. It's a Locked On crossover.
You are Locked On College Crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Happy Friday afternoon. This is a Locked On crossover. I'm Eric Cain from Locked On Vols, Jimmy Stein, Locked On Bama, and we are breaking it down, previewing the round 2 matchup with Tennessee and Alabama here on this Friday. Have your cake and drink it too. Birthday cake flavor is back with 5-hour energy. No fork is needed. Vanilla cakey flavored caffeine kick. No sugar. It is party time. You can order now at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. That is 5-hour energy. Again, that's Jimmy Stein. I am Eric Cain, and it's Tennessee and Alabama round number 2. Tennessee took round 1 in Knoxville a couple weeks ago, 79, or actually that was in Tuscaloosa. This game will be in Knoxville, 79-73, and looking for a season sweep. But Alabama's playing some really good basketball right now. Jimmy, Alabama's won 7 straight. 1 loss, and that was to Florida, obviously a good team. Since that loss in Tuscaloosa to Tennessee, how's Alabama been doing it here in the last couple of weeks?
Hot shooting on 22 made threes last night against Mississippi State. It's Nate Oates' best shooting team of all the teams he's had at Tuscaloosa. That's what they do best. It's his most efficient offensive team, and they've been playing extremely well on that end of the floor. They do struggle on defense, and Tennessee, among others, have taken advantage at times. It's not a good defensive team, but it is a really good offensive team. But Alabama has been playing extremely well. That hasn't mattered much in Nate Oates' matchups versus Rick Barnes in Tennessee, though. This has been a struggle spot for Alabama. I'm assuming, or the theory is just the style of play that Tennessee employs is not a good match for Alabama, and 5 in a row. I mean, beating Nate Oates' teams 5 times in a row is a heck of an achievement. Alabama's been very good under Nate with back-to-back Elite Eights, but Tennessee seems to be his kryptonite.
And Tennessee as well, back-to-back Elite Eights, and of course round 1 you had the Charles Bediako situation. That was his first game back, or second game back, I guess, and kind of had to work through that. And he had a really good game. The game in Knoxville last year in the regular season, around this weekend, it was Jemai Mashack that won it at the buzzer. So Tennessee's kind of found different ways to beat Alabama here, and you're right, 5 in a row against Nate Oates. That's quite the accomplishment. Coming back to Knoxville to see if Tennessee can finish off the season sweep. You look at the Volunteers, and they're playing really good ball as well. They've dropped 2 games to Kentucky. Both those games Tennessee had a big lead in. They blew it, quite frankly. But since that second loss to Kentucky on I guess it was February the 7th, earlier this month. I mean, Tennessee entered the midweek this week winning 8 of their last 9 ball games. And you go to Mizzou, and you kind of always circled that game as this one could be one you drop. I mean, Missouri's a sneaky good team. They've beaten some really good teams this year. It was a late game. It was in Como. Tennessee didn't rebound well. Tennessee's one of the best rebounding teams in the country. Tennessee's one of the better teams at getting to the charity stripe as well. It didn't do either one of those things. Felix Agpara, who is not an offensive threat for the Volunteers, but he has been lately. He had like double digits, around 15 points, but didn't attempt a shot the last 10 minutes. So that was, kind of weird for Tennessee. And those are some of the storylines for a loss 73-69 in Missouri earlier this week. But I think this is 2 basketball teams that are playing very well. And Jimmy, what would a win for Alabama do? I mean, you've got the SEC tournament coming up. You've obviously got March Madness in a couple of weeks. I mean, where's the postseason aspirations to win a championship? I know that. What seed line is Alabama kind of looking at right now? What would a win do on Saturday in efforts for the SEC tournament and NCAA?
Well, beating a quality team like Tennessee on the road is huge for seeding. I mean, Alabama literally playing to improve their seeding. This is, of Alabama's 3 remaining games, this is their best shot to do that. After Tennessee, they're at Georgia and then Auburn at home. A win at Tennessee would give Alabama its best case to move up. Currently projected as a 4. But moving into that 3 line is tough territory. A lot of good teams this year. It's particularly at that 1 line. I don't know that this will be good enough to move Alabama up, but it would be their best case. Obviously, any road win, but against a quality team like Tennessee, that would be big. Obviously, Tennessee playing for the same, would you say? I mean, this is something that could really improve your seeding. I don't know that, even though Alabama currently tied for second with Arkansas, just I think a game up, Tennessee would tie Alabama, for second place. I think with the win here. But the way I look at it, I don't think anybody's catching Florida. I think they're just kind of a clear cut above everyone else in the SEC, and they'll be tough to catch.
Yeah, Florida certainly is kind of a cut above. I would agree with that. They got a 2-game lead on Alabama and Arkansas, who were second in the SEC, with Florida being 13-2 in conference, Alabama, Arkansas 11-4, Tennessee at 10-5. Entering this week before the midweek, it was Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee all tied at 10-4 in the conference, and Arkansas and Alabama won. Tennessee lost the midweek. If Tennessee were to win, it would further solidify, I think, a double bye scenario for the Volunteers in the SEC tournament. You look at what they got coming up, and South Carolina on the road, Tennessee should handle that, and Vanderbilt at home, that'll be a good matchup. It was a really good matchup in West End on Saturday. Tennessee pulled it out 69-65, not playing its best basketball. So obviously Vanderbilt's going to be a challenge there to end the season. But you win this, you win at South Carolina, I think you're sitting real pretty for that double bye in the SEC tournament. Again, Tennessee currently 4th in the SEC, a game up over Vanderbilt, so a big week for Vanderbilt as well. Vanderbilt with a 9-6 record. We will continue on this conversation. Players to look out for, some predictions for round 2, Tennessee and Alabama on the hardwood. Can Tennessee make it 6 in a row? We'll find out. All this and more to Locked On Crossover with Locked On Vols and Locked On Bama. Welcome to the 5-Hour Energy Flavor Draft with 18 different flavors to choose from, including new options like Confetti Craze, Fruity Rainbow, or Cotton Candy. There's something for everyone. The board is set. The flavors are ready. I've got the number 1 pick, and this is what I'm going to look at right here. I'm looking at Cotton Candy, that delicious, swirly, sugary clouds, fruity twist, a hint of vanilla, sweet side of tasty caffeine, throwback flavor with a boost. I'm going to pick Cotton Candy. Jimmy, do you have a favorite flavor or a new flavor you maybe want to try with 5-Hour Energy?
Grape is my favorite. I go grape every time.
Grape, soft, round the sweetness, Concord flavor grape, similar to grape juice or candy, smooth, almost syrup-like fruit profile. It is one of those OGs. It tastes fantastic, but they've got over 18 different flavors, new flavors out there. Go check it out. Avoid that 2:30 feeling in the afternoon with 5-Hour Energy. Plus, it's a boost with no sugar. Find your favorite flavor of 5-Hour Energy shots available online at 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. That is 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. The biggest stretch of the college basketball season is here. Tennessee and Alabama this weekend, a monster matchup for both the Crimson Tide and the Volunteers. Buzzer beaters like last year in this matchup. Bracket busters, those unforgettable moments that everyone's talking about the next day. Being there live or something like that, that's bucket list stuff, no pun intended. The hard part is always just finding those tickets, getting those tickets, sitting in long queues, prices jumping at checkout, surprise fees. Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. Incredibly simple to use. Game Time Guarantee means you get 100% legitimate tickets delivered on time at the best price, and the best part, fees are included with the price that you see. What you see is what you pay for, period. Take the guesswork out of buying college basketball tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, put in the redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account, redeem code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON, for $20 off. You can download the Game Time app today. Coast Pay is giving Locked On College listeners up to $2,000 credit for your business when you get started today. Not bad, right? If you manage a crew, construction, HVAC, landscaping, any operations with trucks on the road, you already know how messy gas and material spending can get. Cards get shared, receipts disappear, month ends turns into headaches. Coast Pay fixes all of that. Coast Pay is a modern fuel and expense management tool built specifically for fleets. Fuel, maintenance, materials, all on one card with real control and instant visibility. Every transaction shows up the moment it happens. No surprises. If someone fuels up and at an odd time or tries to buy something outside of their limit, you'll know instantly. It's built for operations don't have time to chase the paperwork, all right? And unlike the old fuel cards, there are no contracts or commitments, just smarter expense control. Right now, CoastPay is offering our listeners up to a $2,000 credit when you get started at coastplay.com/lockedoncollege. Go to coastplay.com, coastpay.com/lockedoncollege to see how you can earn up to a $2,000 credit. Terms apply. The Coast Visa commercial credit card is issued by Celtic Bank. All card accounts and subject to credit approval. Go check it out today with Coast. Get Locked On Vols ad-free. Locked On Bama ad-free with the Everydayer Club, plus members-only Discord access. Join Locked On Vols, lockedonvols.supercast.com. Jimmy, where can the Bama folks find your ad-free version of the show?
Just Locked On Bama. Same exact thing. Just put in Bama instead of Vols.
LockedOnBama.supercast.com, LockedOnVols.supercast.com. Check it all out. Access to the Locked On merch store, Everydayer Club Discord channel. So much to there for $5 a month. Locked On Vols, LockedOnBama.supercast.com. All right, Jimmy, if Alabama is going to win this basketball game, what has got to happen differently this matchup than it did a couple weeks ago in Tuscaloosa?
Having everybody back healthy is what, that's been the biggest issue for Alabama all year. They played last night without their best player, LeBaron Philon. Still played one of their best half. The first half's probably as good as Alabama played all year, even with Philon out. But health has been the biggest issue for Alabama all season long. 13 players on scholarship, 3 have been lost for the season, so you're down to 10. Of those 10 players, Eric, only 1 has been available every game all year. Only 1 of the 10. Last night, it was Philon's turn to be out. Who knows who will be out Saturday. Philon should be back for Saturday, but I think having a healthy roster is going to be a start for Alabama. Obviously, the matchup with the 2 scorers, Tennessee with Ament and Gillespie, those are by far Tennessee's, best scorers. They had monster games against Alabama. I think Ament had like 29. I think Gillespie had 23, 24. You got to do a better job defensively on those 2. But overall, I think just having a healthy basketball team will be a start for Alabama. And they're kind of getting that way. I think they're closer to being healthy than at any point they've been all year.
Yeah, for Tennessee, it's those 2 guys you mentioned right there. Nate Ament, who the last 2 games, he's been tested and challenged a little bit. He's gotten in double figures, but he went through a stretch where it was unbelievable. He scored a career-high 29 points, one of those against Alabama. He did that 4 different times. He was averaging, 23 points over the stretch of like 7 or 8 games. He was truly living up to that 5-star freshman, that lottery pick type guy. And I think he's going to be, a lottery pick coming up in the draft this summer. But he's really coming to his own. What he does so well is, even on nights where he's not efficient from the field, he seeks out contact. He's been getting better at that all night long. He didn't do that enough against Missouri. But he gets to the line, and there's been a couple stat lines this year where he's gone like 3 for 13, 3 for 14 of the field, but he's still finishing with like 18 points because he gets to the line 10 times, and he's a really good free throw shooter. So Nate Ament really coming into his own. Obviously, it starts there if you're trying to beat Tennessee, and then like you mentioned, Jacoby Gillespie, who I think is the most, because he plays with Nate Ament, the most underrated guy maybe in the SEC. He's had a couple of horrendous turnovers late in games. One against Kentucky and that loss that comes to mind. It's just like, what are you doing, man? But he is a great facilitator, one of the best ones in the SEC. He is a score-first point guard, averages well over double figures. He played high school at Greenville, which is about an hour from Knoxville, in East Tennessee. Started at Belmont, all-conference player at Maryland, and now he's at Tennessee, finished his college career. He's done a really good job. Set the Tennessee program record for 8 steals in a game a couple of weeks ago. So a guy that's really coming to his own. And then, outside of those 2, it's kind of a rotating door. Like, you'll get it from maybe Bishop Boswell, who's more of a glue guy, defense, rebound, and does everything that, doesn't show up on the stat sheet a lot of times outside of those stats. JP Estrella, who missed a couple games, came back against Missouri. I still think he's trying to find his footing. He's an offensive threat, down low. And then a guy I mentioned earlier, Felix Okpara. He is a rebounder. He's a rim protector. He is not a scorer. But here lately, he's gotten into the double figures the last couple of games. Tennessee might have unlocked something. Last year it was more of an alley-oop guy or a putback guy. And, he's certainly not playing offense away from the basket a lot of times. But they're starting to find some production in him. So maybe he can step up and play more so than just defense or rim protecting against Alabama. But starts with those two guys, and then there will be a third. Who that third is in a game, who knows? Maybe it's JP Estrella. Maybe it's Ethan Berg has been kind of a cheat code off the bench here lately, which has been nice to see. So Tennessee, again, trying to make it 6 in a row.
It's a deep team. I think Tennessee has 10 guys that average double-figure minutes. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they've got their rotation of 8 or 9, and then, Rick Barnes, I mean, if you're not putting forth, I don't want to say the effort, but if you're not putting forth the results in practice, you're not going to play. And then a guy I just mentioned, Ethan Berg, I mean, he was MIA for like a month. I mean, he didn't play, and then he came off the bench and had a couple of huge three-pointers against Vanderbilt on Saturday and a couple of big moments in the game before that. And he's starting to get a role, and that forces somebody else to the bench, Amari Abram, who I haven't seen in a while. So Tennessee plays a lot of guys, certainly. They've also had their fair share of injuries. JP Estrella I mentioned earlier, but he made his comeback. Hopefully he'll be better against Alabama on Saturday. Before we say goodbye, I do want to touch base real quick on the national storyline, obviously, and Tennessee knows all about it because of what they're trying to do with Joey Aguilar, and he was denied preliminary injunction. Charles Bediako, Tennessee played him in the first matchup. He had a great game. What's the latest there? And is that I would say it's not a distraction because Alabama's won, 7 in a row or whatever. But where's Alabama at with Charles Bediako right now?
Right. Well, Bediako lost his injunction, meaning asking a state court judge to make him, immediately eligible pending the result of his case for eligibility granted by the first judge. That judge was then recused himself for ties to Alabama. Second judge come in, also an Alabama graduate. He denied Bediako's injunctive relief, meaning he's not currently eligible. Now he is appealing to the Alabama Supreme Court to step in and basically make him eligible pending his eligibility action, which probably wouldn't be heard until this summer, later this fall. That's why he needs this injunctive relief to play immediately. His clock runs out at the end of this year, meaning he's within his 5-year window of playing college basketball now. If it's denied, he's certainly not going to get additional years. So that's why he's so desperately seeking the injunctive relief so he can play now. But Alabama's not really involved. I mean, this is Bediako and his lawyer. Alabama's not a party to his case. They are supporting Charles in the sense that if Charles is made eligible, they welcome him to play. But it's Charles Bediako and his attorney that's seeking this out. He does practice with the team as any student at Tennessee or Florida or Alabama or Georgia is free to do. So he practices with the team. In that sense, I think he's been very helpful in the development of Aiden Sherrill. Alabama's a center that has kind of a similar game to Bediako. He's just a young player. I think Bediako's been helpful there. But in terms of where he's at with the legal case, he's just asking the Alabama Supreme Court to declare him eligible, to grant him his injunctive relief. Frankly, I don't believe that's going to happen. I don't think anyone at Alabama is particularly optimistic about it. They're just supportive of Charles.
Yeah, and it feels like this is certainly not a distraction because Alabama's been winning a lot of games here lately.
Yeah, I think he's helpful to the team in practice. Again, I think the greatest thing that he's doing for Alabama, Eric, in addition to 3 wins, there were 3 wins and 2 losses in the 5 games he played. It's not that. I think his greatest contribution has been helping the development of Aiden Sherrill, giving Sherrill his quality body to practice against, and Sherrill being a sophomore. I think Bediako being in his ear about maybe being a little patient about remaining in the college game. Charles left Alabama too. He shouldn't have left when he left. He should have remained at Alabama and continued to develop before trying pro basketball. I think him being in Sherrill's ear about that issue alone may be his greatest gift to Alabama, not the 5 games he played in.
Tennessee took down Alabama 79-73 in Tuscaloosa a couple weeks ago. Round 2 is going to be the Food City Center here in Knoxville. I say here in Knoxville, where I'm at right now. That's coming up on Saturday at 6 o'clock. And again, Alabama, second in the SEC right now, kind of on that 3 line. Tennessee is 4th in the SEC right now. began the week as the number 1 team on the 5 line. They've lost, but so they're kind of on that 5 line seed when you look at the tournament. Big win, big implications for both teams, and we will have you covered every single step of the way. Locked On Vols, Locked On Bama. Check out the Everydayer Club, lockedonvols.supercast.com, lockedonbama.supercast.com. Everydayers, we thank you so much for being here. We'll see what's in store for Tennessee and Alabama round 2 on the hardwood. This has been a Locked On Vols and Locked On Bama crossover, a part of the Locked On Podcast Network.